My name is Romeo Dipura. I'm doing a master's in urban studies from the University of Cape Town, and I am a Canon Collins Soplaji scholar. So the topic of my thesis is connections matter, grey space, electricity access, and citizen agency in Witwatersrand. So my study is around the struggles of ordinary people in accessing electricity, looking at what the ordinary people do for themselves to access electricity, how they merge their own modes of electricity access with ESCOM forms of electricity access, and how that can help us to look at agency and citizenship. Okay, so on the 25th of May, I had gone out with some of my brothers that I was staying with at the time, and upon coming back, and we went home at around 7 p.m. Some guys came to our place and they knocked at the door and they said, "Come out. We have to go and fight the people who are making illegal connections." As someone who is not from here, an immigrant, it was extremely difficult. I was in a very tight spot to do that. It felt difficult for me to challenge the locals just because I was living in an RDP house, despite the fact that we had been having successive blackouts because of alleged illegal connections. But I had to comply, and we went there. And then, upon reflecting on this tension that I was having, I thought of doing my study along the struggles of electricity access, because I really sat in that space of trying to negotiate my positionality as an immigrant, but also as an RDP house dweller. And so that I tried to tie that with what I was studying at school, about the infrastructure of citizenship, how we can use infrastructure access as a lens to look at urban citizenship. So that's why I ended up, and also stories around here of families burning inside the house because of malfunctioning with connections. So all of those factors, they led me to study the topic that I'm studying now. Part of the thing that I have to achieve is to make visible the struggles of electricity access, and use that as a way to see the precarious conditions that the ordinary people find themselves in. And the struggles for not only for electricity, but it's really a struggle for citizenship. And part of the methodology that I am trying to employ, collaborative research, which is somehow very much linked to the spirit of the course that I'm pursuing, to theorize from the South. How can we theorize from the perspective of the people who are living in these conditions? This is part of the reason why you find me here. I really want to be in the space and to be able to make their voices come out. Not in a way that, in some ways I feel as if the academy, in as much as we try to render the struggles of others, the mere process of us doing that, it exerts a form of hierarchy which sometimes is uncomfortable. So besides me rendering visible those struggles, I also want to use this as a way to allow the ordinary to bring their voices on their own through my methodology. Yeah. So I come from Zimbabwe, and I came from one of the smallest cities in Zimbabwe, eastern border to Mozambique, Mutare. And growing up with my mother in the high-density suburbs of Mutare, it was extremely hard. My father was always away trying to earn a living. And my sisters and I and my mother, we really had a hard time. And I remember in 2003 when we were in a dire economic situation, and then my mother negotiated with a lady next door. We got a field. And then after working the ground, we had our maize, our corn. As it was just about to be ready, I remember the council guys coming and they slashed the maize. They said it was too close to the river. They had to enforce some environmental bylaws. And I remember my mother literally crying because of the effort that we had put in and the situation that we were in. at that time I didn't know that it impacted on me, but it did, maybe subconsciously. And then 2 years later, in 2005, I remember my mother also receiving a call from her sister, one of my aunts, saying that her house had been destroyed under Operation Marambatswina. Again, I remember seeing those tears again from my mother, and it was terrible. I tried my best in school, and after getting relatively good grades, I managed to get a place at the University of Zimbabwe, where I was pursuing an honors degree in regional and urban planning. Even when I got there, things were still tight, and I couldn't even afford residence. And because of that, I had to live in Mbare, one of the highest density, we will say, suburbs in Harare. So I lived in Mbare. If you know Mbare, you know. It was a very difficult situation for me. I had to walk to town and then board public transport to the University of Zimbabwe, where I was studying. And it was terrible. But I managed to pull through, despite that being hard. Graduated as the overall best student for 2018. And after that, before I even finished, I got an internship to work for some housing trust, Zimbabwe Housing Trust, where I worked. That really grounded me in the struggles for housing and basic infrastructure in the city. And I was also in that field because of my disciplinary bias, having studied regional and urban planning. So through that, I managed to really see the struggles of housing, where I was coming from, and what the ordinary people had to go through just to belong in the city. So that's where I started to really feel this zeal and passion to do something bigger than myself. And then after working there for a while, I got a call from Arab Zimbabwe. It was a consultancy firm. Because I had won the Arab Overall Best Student Award, I got the opportunity to work with them for a while. So upon getting there, that's where I managed to get the skills. How do I understand planning law? How do I understand the city and how it works, so that I can use that to champion a goal that was bigger than myself. So upon working there for a while, then I got the opportunity now to come and study the MPhil in urban studies, specializing in Southern Urbanism at the University of Cape Town. It was a scholarship that was just for a year. It was only catering for my tuition and my fees, supported by the African Center for Cities and the Andrew Mellon Foundation. So I ended up coming to Cape Town, and after coming to Cape Town, I really found myself at home while studying the MPhil in Southern Urbanism, because it tries to theorize from the perspective of the ordinary, which was a culmination of all the experiences that I had, part of which I shared earlier, to say how are cities centers of exclusion and marginality, and what's my role as the scholar to make visible the struggles that people face here. And then after that, while I was here in Cape Town, I did another course which I really loved, urban food security, where I was looking at how food is elusive to most people in southern cities, and I got in touch with Cape Town Together through one of my lecturers who were doing a study during the lockdown period to see how the pandemic was affecting vulnerable communities as far as food is concerned. And I also contributed to that work, and it was a wonderful experience for me. And while I was doing that, in 2020, we also had a project in Napier where we were contributing to an ongoing informal slum upgrading program, a project that was being done by the Cape Agalas municipality together with the PEP, People's Environmental Planning, and we also came there from UCT as the MPhil in Southern Urbanism cohort, and we were looking at the lived experiences of living in those kind of environments. And the culmination of that work is a book that we produced, which I am extremely proud of, and I'm going to share with you. You're going to look at it, and yeah. So in summary, that has been the work that I have been doing, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm extremely passionate about the plight of the ordinary, especially in cities, and how we can not only try to help the material precarity that these people find themselves in, but can we not have an epistemological intervention where we can develop methodologies that allows these people to bring their voices to the front? So yeah, which is part of the work that the MPhil in Southern Urbanism tries to do. How do you bring the academy to the streets? So that's part of the work that we are trying to do. So in summary, that's what I've been doing. Besides the external struggles that I have just alluded to, there is also an internal process of when you are doing something, sometimes you feel inadequate. You feel as if maybe you cannot be able to do it because of various circumstances. This work is demanding, and sometimes you might feel as if maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But for me, self-doubt, I would say that's a hurdle that I have had to sit with and struggle with for a while. But getting in touch with others who are doing the same, who are also pursuing the same cause, you realize that it's possible. You can do it. You can change the world if you set your mind to it. You can do the part that you can and lay the platform for others to continue. So I would say self-doubt and thinking that you can't do it is a struggle that sometimes when things are not working out, you feel like giving up. But for me, yeah, I would say I have heard a lot of people who keep on encouraging you to just push forward until you get it. So yeah, I think like realizing that it's not just about me, like accepting that this thing that I'm doing, it's not just about me, but a lot of people are looking forward to. In my own personal life, parents, family, they are looking forward to you doing something meaningful. And then in the substance of the work that I'm doing, it's not just about me as well. It's also about these people who want to be heard, these people who want their struggles to be seen, who want to exert their agency in the way they live their lives. So a realization that this thing is bigger than me, I think for me it's a source of strength and motivation. And even if I feel discouraged, I just tell myself to get up, man. This is not just about you. And then I proceed. So for me, that has been a pillar of strength. And then more recently, of course, the Canon Collins team and all the experiences that we share through various platforms, knowing that it's not only me who is going through that. A lot of people have walked the path before, and it can be done. So that has been extremely helpful for me.